Masami, as Eric said, I'm a junior at UNH, and I want to give you all a glimpse into my story too. So let's rewind a little first. It's second grade, and I'm randomly getting these like spurts of just terrible headaches. Suddenly, I start having to pee literally every hour, and then half an hour, and then 15 minutes. It's just days later when I find out I've been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Fast forward a couple years to fourth grade. I had recently gotten braces, of course, being the first kid in my grade to do so. And I'm on the way to my quarterly diabetes checkup at Mass General. Now, I almost always despise these appointments, but this time I'm actually a little thrilled to show the doctors how I've been able to adapt to this new insulin pump they gave me last time. So we meet, we do the typical blood tests, and I leave shortly after with the new knowledge that I also have celiac disease and have to be gluten free. Fifth grade arrives just months later, and with puberty comes the jokes, remarks about my eyes and capabilities in math, constantly being called a robot due to my pump and braces, people never actually saying my name, but rhyming it with anything they could think of, and some instances of having pieces of bread actually thrown at me. Now, these countless acts truly were not of malice. In fact, many of them were playful jabs by some friends as a means of, well, messing around. At least that's how they viewed it. Having spent my entire life in southern New Hampshire, in a town that is 97% white, and with a name and appearance that differed greatly from those around me, I was bound to learn this. I always thought my friends, along with myself, looked different from one another. However, it turns out I was the only one who ever looked different to them. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why in the world is this kid spitting sad parts of his childhood at me when this is supposed to be a positive, upbeat reflection? Well, for me, these early years are half my story. It's the first time I understood what it felt like not to belong. And this semester has been the other half, the first time I genuinely felt that I did. I felt it on my first day of semester in the city, and again on my first day at work with Family Aid Boston. In class, an environment of inclusivity and openness was established immediately. When we noticed dissimilarities, we actually worked to learn about the unique backgrounds of peers to help understand them. We always assumed best intentions in each other. We shed and shared tears together. Shout out to Matt Banks. And we also offered help to each other whenever we saw somebody who needed a hand. Even on sunny Friday afternoons in downtown Boston, when we might not have wanted to be around each other in a single room all day long, we never let that sense of belonging die out. And our individual differences never came between this. I soon learned it was no different at work either. All the caseworkers were empowered. Our president was selfless, and the staff always worked their hardest to support these families that weren't necessarily like them. Although I was so uncomfortable in this new environment and style of living, I always found a sense of comfort in those who were surrounding me. Whether at the apartments, work, or school, people had my back and were not afraid to let me know, ultimately becoming my biggest motivator and exceeding the goals I set out for myself coming into the program. I remember in one of our first classes, our instructor Edith Buss asked us to recall past times when we felt we belonged. What stunned me though was that many of the responses, and including my own, were actually the opposite, times when we felt left out. Feeling alone isn't just this mental barrier that we all face. It has a negative outward impact on the way we work, the way we communicate, and the way we love each other. However, when we can build this sense of community, we begin to shine brightly. We gain confidence, inspiration, and we make lifetime friendships. Maybe a single star cannot illuminate the night sky, but many stars standing together can navigate through the darkness. My time in the CFSI community has taught me many valuable lessons I will carry on forever. Perhaps most important though is knowing what can be achieved when we stop living individually and start living together. My experiences in the past aren't even close to the worst case scenario for any kid, and are certainly not as challenging as the times that many of the populations we aim to help are forced to go through. But these experiences are my story, and this story has helped shape me. And I believe that if we can just collaborate, help each other, and lift others up just a little bit more, I can begin to talk less about my story and my past, and we can talk more about our story and our future. Thank you.